Firewall, that's kind of to be expected at the moment. What I expect, frankly, is that when a... Whoa, what happened here? I don't even care if I just ruined everything that was happening right there. We're just doing it. That works for me.
New directives received and confirmed. Replicators online.
That'll do just fine. I'm really tempted just to do this. There. Go. Oh, but Firewall, remember the game is in early access right now. So I can understand that concern, and it's definitely a valid one. It's definitely a valid concern, and I won't say that it's incorrect. But the game is in early access. The game will eventually hit a release date. And so right now what's happened, in my opinion, is a lot of people have seen what there is to see. They're kind of okay with it because a lot of them have stuck around and kept playing for a little while. But they see that the game still has some work, and that's the other part of it too. It's like, if you're interested in multiplayer, sure, grab it. If you're not, wait for a sale, wait a little longer, and that's fine. Hey Yozo, I've seen people lose with these tiles before because everybody else notices and then they kill the guy. And there's nothing they can do because black market. But yeah, this is a little ridiculous. I'm actually not going to upgrade yet. Very specifically not going to upgrade yet. I'm just going to bring these prices down a bit. Grab up some money with that. Whoa. We tanked prices and everyone was just like, upgrade now. That was awesome. Alright, grab up an auction.
6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 12,000.
Okay, 16.
16,000, 18.
Ah, somebody beat us to the click. That's unfortunate. I wasn't expecting somebody to just beat us to the click like that. Oh well, I have to give it. I can't afford 24. Not when I've already got these tiles. There's too much attention on me as is. And I think I need to wait a little bit before I do anything too crazy. Alright, let's check. Let's look at the rest of the map. I haven't been doing this enough these games. Really? There's no even medium carbon left. Huh. Alright, fine. See, those are all okay. This is all fine. Okay, let's look at power. Geotherm's kind of spread around. Still usable. Still usable, so I think we'll go ahead and take them before long.
Full hardware upgrade complete.
The black market is on
Okay, there we go. That should help a little bit. Let's grab that tile. We won't worry about carbon. There's just so much being collected. I'm going to ignore it for now. And let's grab some power there. And do I just grab the other power, or do I wait, is the question right now. I guess I could just grab the other power and hope it pans out and just sit on the rest of this production that I've already established. We'll try it and see how it goes. Whoa, somebody took the other geotherm. Shoot. What about this last one? This last one's still available. Let's grab it. Okay, this is all fine. Just playing it slow this game again. I'm trying to figure out how to do robotic better, because robotic works reasonably well, but I keep feeling like I could do more with it if I was just a little better at it. So I'm really trying to figure all of that out right now. Did I actually send the geo out, or did I just send the claim? I sent the claim. I need to send the geo. Okay, that's fine. We got our geo online, we'll get another geo online, and then we'll start actually paying off debt instead of just gathering it for the time being. Wells is also hit level 3, that's okay. And part of the reason I'm not going after upgrades super fast is because there aren't really tiles I'm super want. Like, I could use this tile. This is a good tile. Would be a good tile to take. But other than that, most of the rest of these I'm not too interested in, so I don't have to rush to the tiles. I can kind of just sit here. And that's okay. And so I can sit back on the amount of money that I currently have, which is quite a substantial amount. I've already secured a little silicon coming in, and that's good. And just kind of watch and wait and see what all happens. Go ahead and push to this other, thank you, goon squad, which hopefully I'll be able to get down in an appropriate time. And then we'll look at upgrading further from there and seeing what we can actually put production into to be effective. Electronics are kind of tempting with Niven on the map. Where is this plot? Way out here? Okay, that's fine. Niven's steel is actually offline for power purposes. I guess that makes some degree of sense. I don't want to stop making steel, though. I'm totally comfortable just sitting here on all my steel production.
The black market is online.
There we are. Let's get that defended. Okay. Now we're reasonably well defended in a bunch of different places. I do have options still. And I think what I might do is just go ahead and move immediately into quite a bit of food production if I can pull it off. So I'll need about 7,000 or so probably to do that. I should have all of that saved up even after upgrading. So now let's upgrade. Sell off some steel. Get into solid food production. There. And hopefully we'll be able to get to a goon squad as well before we're completely shut out of the game. We're going to leave these steel mills chugging away because they still push us to our upgrade faster. They cost us some money. Now that we've paid off our debt, now is about the time to go ahead and turn them off. Now that our debt's getting paid off, this is an okay time. But we've already done a lot of work with them, so hopefully we'll be okay. Another goon squad. Can you tell I get hit by black market a lot, guys? And yeah, a lot of these geotherms are actually free to take. It's just we don't have the spare black market use to do it. Gonna have to keep an eye on these steel mills. Power's coming down pretty swiftly, so definitely need to keep an eye on these for when they're actually good to turn back on. Ooh, silicon short. That's actually kind of helpful. Now, let's check Offworlds, since we're actually to the point where we can hit level 5. Whoa, people buying into that. Okay, we'll sell out, sure. We can even secure a little more silicon for ourselves, potentially. Fuel is amazing, Offworld. Oh, man, that's ridiculous. Okay, so we don't even want to turn steel back on. Oh, iron's expensive because there's a shortage on the way. Okay, I see. We'll sit on that for a little while. We did get our food hit by black market. That shouldn't be any real surprise. Thankfully, we were sitting on a fair amount of iron. Steel can turn back on by now. We got what we needed to done with food. We're going to grab another goon squad. Let's actually, we could get more food down, but food's coming down pretty hard at this point. A lot of other food production going up for the amount of food consumption on the map right now. Let's see. Let's see. We could just sit. Another option, though, instead of just sitting, we do have the option of turning the steel into glass, things of that nature. But I think I'm comfortable with what we already have. Nanotech could be pretty darn good.
16,000, 20.
But I don't know how much I can commit to it. Power's not doing so hot right now, so I can't really pay off debt super easily. Nanotech's probably actually worth that, if we're honest. Like, Nanotech's quite valuable. So, I'm not quite to the point where we can actually do this yet, but we're getting there, slowly. Especially with our aluminum. That's what's really pushing us to it, is this aluminum production that we have going. It's very strong. I really want to be able to just do this the second I upgrade. So I'll tell you what, we'll actually buy into 100 glass right now just to have it. That should make all the math a little bit easier once we've upgraded. The thing is, it costs a lot of steel to do this. So even though it looks like maybe we would have enough, we're going to spend so much steel upgrading that we don't actually have enough to upgrade and throw down the Offworld all at once yet. We need so much steel to make that happen. Thankfully, we have a lot of steel production. So hopefully it'll be okay. Whoa. Chem's short. We're going to ignore that. Because the scavengers are just fighting over it anyway, so what's the point? Alright, we should be just about there now. So let's do it. It's down, it's set up, the steel's doing just fine again. I would love to get into some glass production right about yesterday. So let's go ahead and do that. And then we'll figure out what buildings we can get rid of to get into things like engineering labs and the like. Like, these hydroponic farms are basically just losing money at this point. I don't know why I'm selling steel in order to put down a building that costs steel. I'm probably an idiot, but sell off that last little bit of food. Get into this glass production. There we go. And frankly, let's go ahead and scrap. We'll actually scrap this guy as soon as we can and get to into a patent lab. And then we need to figure out what to do with these three, which is probably reactors. As soon as we can put down, we'll need that 120 steel. Then we'll scrap the food and go on into reactors. because reactors are amazing right now. It doesn't even really matter how many others are on the map, because we also know that fuel was the amazing thing off-world. And so we're going to be using fuel regardless. There we go. Up. Whoa, we can't even buy enough fuel yet. That's how ridiculously expensive fuel has gotten at this point. We do need to make sure we buy enough. Let's go ahead and get the send. Man, steel's incredible. Okay. Send fuel. There we are. Hopefully we can just keep doing that. I do need to scrap out of some stuff somewhere in order to get stuff like a patent lab down, maybe get down some electronics production, an engineering lab, things of that nature. Asimov is trying to kill us. Asimov, you don't have the money, man. Alright, tell you what, we'll just get this down, start it going, and then we'll spend all the rest of our money on making sure this guy doesn't think about doing this ever again. Now, we did do this very early, right? We definitely have opened ourselves up and been like, hey, everybody come kill us. And that's the concern about doing this rush, is the game tells everybody and makes sure they know, this guy over here, him, kill him, he's a problem, right? And so that's kind of the downside of what we've gone and done. Now, that fuel surplus hurts. But thankfully, steel is holding on strong. So we're still in some great sources of production. And that's the thing about rushing through with steel quite like that. If you can keep steel's price down for a while, but then toward the end, just start using it all on yourself, you get into this position where everybody else has kind of maybe avoided that steel production, and yours is still okay. I really wanted to start thinking machines pretty quick here. There we are. And now I also really would like to push for a goon squad pretty fast here. Thankfully our send should let us do that. There's the goon. Regooned. Fuel is cheap again. We'll just keep sending some fuel. Wells is also in an off-world, interestingly enough, which is working away. And is defended. Okay, well, Wells is very cheap at the moment. Asimov doesn't really have the cash to kill us from what I can tell. Let's check his production. It's okay, but it's not stellar. Unfortunately, glass has come down significantly while we were frozen. Everybody else is kind of defending themselves, which is good. Food is solid again. Might want to move out of glass into food before too long. I really wanted an engineering lab at some point this game. I guess that was just too much to push for while also heading toward an off-world. What I'm really hoping is that we can use this off-world to go ahead and acquire wells fairly quickly. We can go ahead and move into electronics before long with any luck. Let's go ahead and get that next send started. Don't know if we can afford another goon for this. I think I'd rather get wells purchased. Which means, yep, it's going to get blown up. But if we can get wells bought, now we have 2. So that was the play. Get the second one. Get all his solid production in these chems. Let's get rid of his glass. Okay, our other one got blown up now as well. That shouldn't be any real surprise. Thankfully, we have one repairing. Let's go ahead and move into food here. And then, let's see, the carbon is strong, the chems are strong. These can go into electronics, I think. And obviously we're staying in steel because we're relying on these off-worlds being functional. Okay. Who do we kill? Gameslayer 989. Yeah, so that was the trick, right? We had to keep our stock price solid through the mid-game, so that when we got to this point of having an off-world up, nobody could just buy us because we built an off-world, right? That was the goal, to try and make it so that we couldn't just get bought purely because we put an off-world up, which happens a lot to a lot of people, quite frankly. Did I already do all this? We'll let that go for 20. I'm comfortable with that at this point. But now we have all kinds of production that can't all be knocked down at once, right? People can hit us in a bunch of different places in a bunch of different ways. They can underground nuke our silicon. They can do all kinds of crazy things to us. But at the end of the day, our production is strong. It's just strong. There's no doubting that fact. This electronics production is not as strong as I would like, granted, and we have thinking machines on the way, which should help quite a bit in keeping these off-worlds online. Did this one get blown up again? Yeah, I have to redo that. The electronics production getting hit hurts, but thankfully we still have chem production, which is going well enough. We have this engineering lab up, which is beefing up our electronics production for the day that it finally comes online. Thinking Machines is about to finish up, so let's go ahead and get these repaired. And hope that we can just survive. 31,000 for the repair. The food will help out with that quite a lot. And we're just securing our own stock. Also, carbon is going totally beyond nuts at the moment. Carbon scrubbing no longer available because Niven already took it. That's totally understandable. Very reasonable of him to do. Thankfully, we have a lot of carbon coming in still. So even though electronics are very expensive to make, hopefully it'll be alright even without carbon scrubbing. Keep selling down food, keep buying up our own stock. I would love to get just a little bit in everybody else. It's kind of dangerous to have to buy so much into yourself in the late game. It's dangerous. Okay, Bradbury has started on us. Good. That gives us another clear secondary target besides Asimov. And hopefully once these off-worlds come online, Thinking Machines will help kind of carry us through and make everything all right. Now, what do I want to shut down? Not really carbon. Where's Niven? Oh, yeah. Let's do some of this. Bam. Ring around the rosy. Enjoy. Mutiny, that's probably on an off-world, unfortunately. Thankfully, it's only a half-time mutiny, so it's not the end of the world. Our steel has come away from being valuable. We really need to start these sins going before long, though. That's the big concern. Thankfully, everybody's kind of partially into us, and we're already halfway into Asimov, which is our definite target, right? So hopefully, once these off-worlds... Oh, come on. This is what I'm talking about, by the way. You just put up off-worlds, and it's this huge flag that says, everybody come kill me. Here's the easy way to do it. But I still want to try and make it work. It doesn't work very well, guys. It kind of works. But we can see what's happened now, is I'm stalling out quite heavily, as everybody else just throws problems my way, and I have no good way to solve it. Instead of this... Let's go ahead and just... that's pretty expensive for me right now, unfortunately. Let's sell down all that.
Market is online.
Make that happen. There we go. The food's not doing so hot anymore. Whoa. Aluminum. What are you guys doing to aluminum? There. I'll kill it for you. Congratulations. Electronics keep getting hit. This food, I think, can actually turn into electronics, especially during this dust storm. Get out of here. More electronics down, because our electronics production should be strong. It's very strong. Let's go ahead and upgrade fuel production as well. Hopefully everybody else gets into off-worlds eventually. We do have a lot of water because we acquired a scavenger. Our off-worlds are ours again, hopefully. There we are. Let's just keep sending, sending, sending. Now that they're both working, they're both online, we're going to grab a mutiny, just in case we get mutinied. We did get power surged on the off-world, and it bounced in an interesting way. Hit Herbert as well. That's fine. Sell down some iron. Should be okay. This power is all paying off debt fairly effectively. Unfortunately, there is a dust storm, which is hurting it right now, but whatever. Oh, definitely turn off chems. I don't even want to think about how much money we've been burning in chems for this past little while. Let's just get down more reactors. Let's upgrade our fuel production again, because we know that's important. Let's see. This off-world is still running. We still have several sins going with the off-world. We need to push for 280,000 to kill off Asimov, who is, I think, the first goal. Although Herbert definitely has something to be said for killing off Herbert. We picked one that was defended? Seriously? That's very unfortunate. I was not expecting that, to be honest. Wow, electronics have died completely. Everybody, I guess, successfully made that electronics transition. All right. Yep. Mutiny it again. Mutiny it back, please. Thank you. Keep sending with the off-world. Make sure that keeps going. We have slant drilling now, which was mostly because of carbon going completely nuts. That way we could have a lot of carbon coming in. But I think it's time to scrap this guy and get into maybe another off-world. Steel's not that expensive at the moment. Like, nothing's too expensive. I think we might be able to make that push for that other off-world. We also have steel production going on. So having bought a lot of it, hopefully we'll be able to just sell and kind of make a lot of that money back. Upgrade fuel production again. There we go. Okay. We have two off-worlds. They're both working. They're both ours. Herbert's worth a lot to buy because it sets us up very well later. Asimov has a lot of our stock, but he's not necessarily a threat in the moment. whereas Herbert definitely is. And so even though we can buy Asimov right now if we want to, I think the better call might be to go ahead and push for Herbert. Let's see. These can go back online. I don't know why they're off. That was probably just a gut reaction to what was going on. Okay. Buy up enough to send more. 556. Are we there? Yes, we are. We'll take out Herbert. That gives us even more off-worlds. Oh, come on. Work with me. Just because my off-world gets blown up that I clicked on doesn't mean I want that menu to close. Mohawk. Just in case anybody's curious. Let's see. These chems are bad. We need to turn those off. The carbon's okay. Oh, wow. Fuel actually getting... Okay. I think we have 5 off-worlds now. Yes. So let's just make sure we have 5 sends going. Let's see. Everything's reasonably well upgraded. Let's upgrade food. Let's turn our electronics production into food as well. Oh, come on. I have to have the money for that somewhere. Hopefully we've got it at this point. Repair the off-world. More sends going. Fuel's crazy cheap now, but that's fine because it just makes our off-worlds better. Like, fuel surplusing is totally fine for us. Because we don't need fuel to be expensive to make money. The cheaper fuel is, the more money we make, quite frankly. Yes, it hurts what we've done with our engineering labs, but we've diversified so much and covered so many bases, I'm not sure it's an issue. Now, where is that mutiny? On a water pump? What? That's crazy. I'll just leave it. Forget it. Whatever. Let's go ahead and upgrade water production since water's getting a bit pricey. How's the fuel doing? Still making money, barely, because we've upgraded it so hard. Keep sending. There we go. And we'll probably just do this till we've won the game. Asimov's the clear next buy. He has off-world set up. Nobody else has the ability to make money very easily without off-worlds. Like, this guy's doing his absolute best with electronics as they are right now. But tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do the exact same thing we did last time once we have another minute gone by. And we're just going to blow it all up again. And it's only because he's upgraded the electronics production so hard that it's doing as well as it is. And we can even fight back against it now. We don't need this steel so much anymore. We're going to drive steel back up in just a moment here. But by throwing down a bunch of buildings. But we don't need it to quite be where it was. And so we can kind of also just compete on that electronics front to try and guarantee he stops making so much money. Also, I think we're going to scrap out of these. We don't really need them so much anymore. And they can just make us some glass. That's reasonable. Buy out Asimov. Even more off-worlds. Off-world shipments launching. There we go. That should be good for hopefully the rest of the game. And we've got it wrapped up. Ooh.
Shipment launched. Look at all the money.
Carbon got pricey again. We'll knock that back down. Look, guys, we're just coasting to victory at this point. We got it done. We survived the black market. Which honestly surprised me a little bit, but we did it. We'll go ahead and just do some of this. All right, it's defended. Look what we do. Oh, look, everything's frozen. How'd that happen? He can keep his middle one. He's making a good 400 a second off that, but the rest of these, not happening. That's why we go ahead and save. That's why we threw the dynamite at it, even though that's going to come back and hit an off-world. We threw a dynamite at it because it changed the tile to defended, and it guarantees that this power surge is going to do serious, serious work for us. The worst it could have done was miss one of the electronics factories or one lab. Grab up all that electronics production. Thank you. Guys, there's so much money in these off-worlds. This is ridiculous.
Look at all the money.
685,000 is going to be the goal. Tell you what, we're just going to sit back, let it happen. Not too much to think about anymore because, oh man, off-worlds are amazing this game. All right. It worked. We got the rush done. Xandroff actually had the right idea in terms of, hey, let's just make electronics and make them amazing. But it didn't quite pan out this game. Maybe because there just weren't quite enough robotic players? I'm not really sure. Maybe he just overcommitted to the electronics a bit too hard? Things like that? I don't know. It was a good attempt, but frankly, what it also came down to was just off-worlds were too good. Not even too good, because we saw that I was struggling with it a little bit even. I stalled out pretty significantly, so I don't want to use the words too good. But off-worlds were so good that sticking on-world probably wasn't going to work to actually win the game.
Look at all the the money.
And there we go. Let's see how much the resources said. Yeah, we made almost 2 million that game. Offworld, guys. $1.9899 million Offworld that game. 29 Offworld launches. The rush worked out. Man, we bought a lot of water that game, but we were putting a lot of it in fuel. And, you know, fuel was just so good. The Offworld worked out for us just fine. We didn't even do anything with electronics very effective. We just mostly bought a whole large, giant chunk of them, right? But we didn't have to buy power that game, because what we did was this idea of... Let's see. Let's go ahead and check out what chat's saying, because I need to make sure nothing too weird's going on in there. Be a bit vulnerable by buying, since if others have bought stock, they get a cash infusion, and your stock price doesn't go up that much from buyouts. In the long run, you will pull ahead with all the production, but in the short run, it can be dangerous. Just saying there should be a shield. Interesting point. So the game could include a poison pill provision in the buyout of smaller companies to make it very tough for the big companies to buy the smaller guys. I can't disagree with that statement more. See, here's the thing, Firewall. Part of what you're watching is six-man games. The game honestly isn't that well balanced around six-man. The reason I play six-man is because there are a lot of people who want to play when we do the streaming, and so I do the bigger games to let that happen. The game is best balanced, though, in my opinion, around like 1v1s, 2v2s, and 4-man free-for-alls. That's where it's at. So you see a lot less of that going on in those games. On top of that, if you create a situation where a big player loses too much from buying out a small player, then nobody ever buys anybody, and the game just keeps going on and on and on until nothing is worth anything, and like it turns into this huge situation where the first guy to pull the trigger loses. And that happens often enough in this game as it is. We get into that situation far too often. It's like the big issue with the late game when you've got a whole bunch of people in this game. You can't let that happen. There are provisions in the game that people can take advantage of that kind of prevent the big player from getting too out of control, but somebody has to fight back. As an example, that last game, when I went for the Wells buy, Asimov started trying to buy into me, or Asimov had bought into me. And if Asimov had kept going with that, I might not have been able to make that Wells purchase, that extremely valuable and cheap purchase, in order to get ahead. The game is not balanced in any way around 8-player FFA, in my opinion, because what ends up happening is nobody can keep track of everything that's going on, and it's just random who wins. That's what I've noticed more often than not. Like with 8-man FFA, literally all you have to do is throw down 3 solar panels at the start of the game, sit there while everybody else drinks in power. You end up with a ridiculously high stock price and a massive amount of money. You buy somebody and you win. That's it. That's 8-mans. Buying stock doesn't give you money. Okay, Firewall, what happens is you buy stock with your money. If somebody else purchases that stock from you by forcing a buyout on another player, they are paid money instead of the bank being paid money, right? They are paid money when the player gets bought out. Anybody else who owns stock. So that's what's going on. But you don't get money from buying stock. That's your sacrifice, is you're putting money into that stock and then it's stuck there and it's not doing anything for you, basically. Anyway, there are actually a lot of things in this game that prevent a leader from truly taking an advantage by fully buying out another player. It's just based around people keeping track of it and playing around that well enough. Trust me, when you see a 4-man game of top-level players, it gets really complicated trying to keep track of, if I do this, that guy's going to do that, and that guy's going to do that, and that guy's going to do that, because you can expect them to all be fighting back with those systems that are provided to them. Now, thankfully, I don't have to get up and make tea after this game. I don't know if we need to talk about this game anymore, guys. Look, I sold Offworld, I won the game. We made that Offworld rush. We sat through it. We got to the thinking machines in order to keep punching through later on. We made it happen. It worked. Yay. That might be it, Firewall. I don't know where